Guys, it's Carol from Cape Cod Cottage Garden coming to you from Cape Cod, Mass, Zone 7A. Today I'm hoping to harvest my onions. I have been waiting for like 3 days straight of not having rain, and it just hasn't happened because I wanted my onions to dry out a little bit before I harvested them. So it's been about 2 days now that it hasn't rained, so I'm going to go ahead and pull these. I shut off the drip irrigation to this bed about a couple of weeks ago because we've been having so much rain. So I'm hoping that I get a nice onion yield. I also have some other vegetables in the garden I would like to show you today, so stay tuned for that. Let's get going. First, a little overview of my onion bed. I have grown onions and carrots, and I have some zinnias over in the end too. I pulled a lot of the carrots in my last video. Overall, my onions look decent. I mean, none of them are huge, as you can see, but I'm okay with that. I grew 3 different kinds of onions. I did New York Earlies. Oh gosh, no, I can't remember the name of them. I'll pop the name up on the bottom. One was a Spanish onion, one was a red, and one was a New York Early. I know that. And as you can see, most of the onion greens have flopped over, so they're ready to pull. Basically, what you want to look for when you're harvesting your onions, or to know when the onions are ready for harvest, is once they're flopped over and this is turned, like, see how it's kind of crispy? The onion is no longer going to grow. It's not getting any more moisture from the greens to grow. So, like in other words, like this one could probably go a little longer. See, it's still stiff. It's nice and thick. It's not dried out yet. I'll probably leave that one just to let it bulb up, let the bulb size up a little bit. So let's go ahead, and I'll leave this one too, and this one too. These were the Spanish, I believe. Maybe they go a little longer. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest these onions. Most of the onions, you could see I got some good sized ones, some really tiny ones, a nice mixture, but that's kind of good because sometimes you don't need a large onion. You're cooking, you just want to add a little onion. You don't have to waste any, you'll just grab a small one. So I'm pretty pleased with the onions because in the beginning I thought they were goners, so I'm happy with whatever yield I get. I did open up my brassica bed. This is the one that had the hinged row cover on it. I pulled out all the old cabbage that we weren't eating. Obviously, all the broccoli has been long gone. But I wanted to show you my Brussels sprouts and how they're coming. I've never grown Brussels sprouts. As you know, this is my first year doing a garden to this level. Oh, guys, can you see it? Oh, shoot, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. I always get distracted by butterflies. But there's a beautiful monarch in my garden, right there. Look at it, lovely. I haven't seen a lot this year, actually, so when I see them, I have to share. I get really excited. Look how lovely it is. Just really enjoying that zinnia. Guys, sorry for all the background noise too, because I have, oops, where'd it go? My neighbors have like a beautiful yard, but literally there is landscaping company over there almost every day. It's crazy, so I can never find a totally quiet time to film. So let's get back to the Brussels sprouts. I got a little distracted by the monarch. So they are coming. Somebody told me they were hard to grow, but so far mine are like doing decent. Can you see all the little sprouts growing along the stem? It's a little difficult to show on camera. This one looks good. This one looks good. You can see the sprouts. This one has sprouts, but they're teeny tiny. I don't know if you can see them. It's kind of dark. This one has some nice ones. And this one, although it's kind of the stockiest plant, has the smallest sprouts on it, but it's pretty plentiful. Down here, they're bigger. So that's that. So I'm pretty pleased with that. We'll see how that goes. Most of my garden I have pulled out because this is where all my peas and lettuce were. If anybody knows what's going on with my pickling cucumbers, I'd appreciate some feedback. I think we just got too much water and I let them go too long, because look at this. That is not normal, folks. I gotta pick these. There's a whole bunch like that, like just round, bulbous. My camera skills are not that great. See that round, bulbous one? There's one over there, but it's too huge. They're, you know, not the greatest. I still have some green beans to pick. Yeah. But one thing I do have is tomatoes. Look at my tomatoes. I've obviously got to pick a lot of these. Since we got rid of most of the chipmunks, I have harvested some tomatoes, like a lot of these. These are the Sun Golds. Let me try one, because they're usually really yummy. Well, that one might not be quite ready yet, but aren't they pretty? They're really sweet and delicious. Really good. And I've also managed to get some ground cherries. I wasn't getting any in the beginning of the year. Oh, because the chipmunks were just munching them. Eat that one. Delicious. So now I'm getting a whole bunch. My cucumbers have been crazy. I'm always looking for ways to eat my cucumbers because we have so many. I mean, I'm going to give some away. The green beans were fabulous this year. I especially love these dragon tongue beans. Delicious. But otherwise, I think what I learned from this year's garden is I have to plant way more next year. Way more than I planted this year. I have so much room in my garden that I didn't utilize. But look at this beautiful bell pepper. Can you see it? The lighting isn't great because it's being shaded, but isn't that lovely? So I do have some, and here's some more cayenne peppers. They haven't gotten red yet, but I have so many of these drying to make red pepper flakes. So that's a little overview. Let's go see how we're going to cure our onions. So I went looking around my yard to figure out a way I could cure my onions, and I have this bistro set. It's like a tall table and chair set, and I've never liked it. I just always wanted to throw it away. It's just not my cup of tea. But guess what? It might work perfectly for curing my onions. Now, Mr. Hubby, on the other hand, loves this bistro set, so he might not be too pleased about losing it to onions, but it's temporary. So I'm going to start threading these through. It has holes in the top, so we'll get good airflow. So I'm just going to thread all the onions through and let them dry for a couple days, at least outside, and then I'll move them in. So let me get going. So here are my onions. I thought this was actually a really good idea. I just threaded them through. All the greens are below. So these ones, they're not that big. I mean, they're not tiny, but they're not as huge as I thought they would be, and I don't really care because I actually, most of the time when I use onions, I grab this size. So this works for me. I still have more in the garden that I didn't pull. These ones were bigger. I couldn't even get them to the holes up here, but look at the size of this one. Like, it's a very rare occasion that I grab an onion that big. So I'll have to use this when I'm making like a big pot of stew or soup or something, because that's like softball size. But overall, I'm pretty happy. Let me go pick some tomatoes. Okay guys, sorry for the background noise. Someone's building something, but here are my tomatoes I'm gonna pick today. These are my granaderos. They look pretty good. Good size. There's a whole bunch. These are my Sun Golds, but we've been eating a lot of them, so there's not many left. My San Marzanos, not as big. Plentiful, sure, but just not as big. And then if anybody knows why my beefsteak tomatoes are shaped like this, let me know. They're like pear-shaped. I have no idea why. Anyways, let me pick some tomatoes. Okay guys, so besides the onions, today I did harvest all these, mostly paste tomatoes, Granadero and San Marzano. I have some beautiful ground cherries, some green beans, and some dragon tongue beans that are a little bit past prime. I accidentally pulled out one scallion while I was pulling the onions. 2 nice cucumbers. These are my pickling cubes. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. Probably throw them in the compost bin. And I do have a few jalapenos in here too. So I'm here in my garage 1 week later, and They're all ready. I kept them out in the sun for about 2 days and then I brought them inside my garage. So now I just have to, I can either braid these or I can clip this off right about there and clip off the roots too and store them for long-term storage. They're all nice and hard. The outer layer, oops, sorry, that is very dry and crisp. So they're ready. Yay. Overall, very pleased. Thank you again for watching, guys, and till next time, enjoy the rest of your summer. Bye-bye.